All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back as we await Congressman Louie Gohmert. There's a piece in the New York Times that I just printed up. It's I don't know, it's linked on Drudge, I guess, and I just got it from yesterday. It was today's paper. Wanted by Ecuador, two brothers make mark in U.S. campaigns. Get this. The donations kept pouring in, hundreds of thousands of dollars in campaign contributions to President Obama. And more than a dozen members of Congress, carefully routed through families of two wealthy brothers in Florida. They had good reason to be generous. The two men, Roberto and William Izias, are fugitives from Ecuador, which has angrily pressed Washington to turn them over to no avail. A year after their relatives gave $90,000 to help elect Barack Obama, the administration rejected Ecuador's extradition request for the men, fueling accusations that such donations were helping to keep the brothers and their families safely on U.S. soil. This is the New York Times saying this. The New York Times. Let me tell you something. If we ever knew the truth about where all that money came from, I remember at the time, I don't have it all in front of me, you know, the credit card donations without proper record keeping, or you're not required to keep the records for donations under a certain amount of money, you know, if it comes from overseas and it's, you know, credit card or whatever. Believe me, I would love to have the records and the names and the amounts of everybody who donated to the Obama campaign, both in 2008 and in 2012. The Izias brothers fled to Miami not to live off their work, something just, but to buy themselves more mansions and Rolls Royces and to finance American political campaigns. This is according to the president of Ecuador, President Rafael Correa. He told us to reporters last month. That's what has given them protection. All right, we welcome in Congressman Louie Gohmert. We'll do more on this tomorrow. Hey, Congressman, how are you, sir?
As far as I know, okay. How are you, Steve?
Good. You want to check and make sure?
Well, you know, I've known people that thought they were doing okay, and then they dropped.
Well, I don't want to. Don't even say that. Don't even go there. It's just crazy stuff. All right. So it looks like, you know, after a top Iranian lawmaker, you know, our good friends in Iran, accused the United States of taking that plane and doing away with it for political purposes, it looks like the Chinese have finally released satellite pictures of 3 floating objects that they think might be the plane. I mean, that would end, or at least lead to the end of a tragic and great mystery.
Well, it is tragic. It's truly tragic. But that would be pretty amazing that the United States would use Iranians to purchase or to get false tickets or tickets under false passports. That'd be pretty amazing, too, that U.S. would use Iranians to do such a thing. So pretty amazing, the imagination of the Iranians. But when you're radical Islamists, you'll say or do anything if it helps you move toward a global caliphate.
Let me ask you, Congressman, you voted against the bill because the other story today is the Prime Minister of Ukraine coming to meet with the President at the White House as we await Sunday's, what the President has called illegal election in Crimea. And you voted against the bill to provide loan guarantees to the Ukraine. Why?
Well, we don't even know who would be getting the loans. We don't know who would administer the loans. The government in Kiev in Ukraine is, just non-functional, it seems to be. And, Steve, what it seems is that we see a friend, a real friend in trouble, being the victim of an assault by the Russians. And so this administration wants to drive by and throw money at the victim while he's being assaulted. I don't see the purpose in that. I would think there are much more effective things with Ukraine. How about we tell Poland, as a result of this action by Russia, we are immediately reinstating the anti-ballistic missile program in Poland that this president unilaterally ended, though the money and all of the preparations were made, and the Polish officials had political trouble at home initially, and then we stab him in the back. If we send the message, We are now going to go through with the anti-ballistic missile program in Poland. We're now going to start helping the Baltic states there and make sure that they stay free and independent. You don't have to send armies. You can just start bringing them into the fold. You start hitting Russia where they don't want to be hit, especially when their financial situation is not all that great. You encourage Ukraine to make clear to Russia, hey, you threatened to cut off our natural gas. These long tube pipelines that you rely on for so much of your income may just come to an end. I mean, there are things that can be done without sending an army, and it just seemed too much like, and that was the mental image I had. We got a friend being assaulted, and we drive by and throw money at them as we go.
And you don't even know where the money's going.
You don't know what.
Right.
No, it could go to who knows? I mean, who knows who will end up getting that money?
That's a fair point. Fair point.
And Steve, you got to understand, having spent time as an exchange student in Ukraine back in college, I have a real heart for the Ukrainian people, for Ukraine. I encouraged some of the Bush cabinet members that we ought to do more to get Ukraine into NATO, that we ought to do more to bring them into the Western world, to make sure that they were beyond the reach of the Russians. And the Bush administration didn't do as much as I thought should have been done. And the Obama administration, they're basically, well, I mean, this is the proposal. Gee, let's throw money at our friends who are being victimized.
All right, Congressman, we have about 3 minutes left, or 2.5. I want to ask you about some testimony today from Kathleen Sebelius, who admitted or claims that she doesn't know how many of the people who, quote unquote, have signed up for Obamacare. She doesn't know how many of them have actually sent in money to pay a premium. So all of these numbers that we're getting, they are totally, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but in my view, they're totally meaningless because, Amazon.com doesn't tell you how many people, bought something on their site unless they buy it and send in. Now, they just don't count the shopping cart.
Yeah, and that's true. And bogus as an adjective for the numbers thing, it comes to my mind. But, I mean, this is what they do. They just manufacture numbers. Come on. The trouble is that the people we're talking about are numbers. They're people who are suffering with health problems. Some of them have cancer. Some have life-ending diseases that need help. And we don't even know if after this administration and without one Republican vote, they pass Obamacare that's going to end and has ended so many millions' chance to get and have health insurance so they can get the care they need. I mean, this is incredible, the travesty that's being done to the American people through Obamacare. And the American people see it.
Yeah, they see it, and they're going to hear a lot more about it as time goes on. Congressman, always great to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's great to talk to you, Steve. Thanks so much.
Take care. Love Louie Gohmert, Congressman from the great state of Texas, here on the Steve Malzberg Show, ladies and gentlemen. All right, tomorrow we got another great lineup, so I don't want you to miss that show. And we're going to do more. We're going to do more on not only the Ecuadorian brothers, who the New York Times say gave $90,000 to the Obama campaign, funneling money to it, and the Ecuador president wants them back, wants them extradited, and our administration says nope. Gee, I'm so shocked. But a Democratic fundraiser who also gave lots of money to Hillary's campaign, recently in big trouble, recently convicted. We'll talk about him tomorrow as well. So big show tomorrow right here, all of it, on the Steve Malzberg Show on Newsmax Television.
We don't just talk about the news, we talk to those making news. This is the Steve Malzberg Show.